You got to have a rotate room. You got to have a place to break it down, or it wouldn't be the same. It's a great thing about living a life by design. I don't even know what day it is. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Every day's a fucking weekend for me. If you're living for Fridays, you're not living life, because every day in our life is like a fucking Friday. Put the work in and get the best out of life.
What if I told you that you could double your money in just 3 hours? Would you be interested?
What's up, guys? Vegas Dave. About to have dinner with my boyfriend, Christine Avi. He's the one that got me the Richard Mille.
The allure of fast money creates people like Vegas Dave. Vegas Dave is now a sports betting consultant in Las Vegas where he promotes his services all over social media every single day.
What's up, guys? Vegas Dave. I'm super excited to announce I'm going to now have weekly packages for baseball.
Even in quarantine, Dave wants to promote his ability to successfully pick winners, regardless of the event. Why would anyone listen to Vegas Dave?
Valley Man has 2.5 million reasons to be thankful tonight. This man, known as Vegas Dave, won big on the World Series. He placed $100,000 in bets at various casinos around town.
In 2015, he placed a futures bet on the Kansas City Royals to win the World Series. His prediction landed him $2.5 million profit and helped promote his brand into the sports betting world. And what Dave does best is place large amounts of money on futures bets that have huge payouts. His social media accounts have helped him become a personal brand outside of the small sports betting community in Las Vegas. Dave has surpassed 1 million followers on Instagram. Even for an app known for its creation of a false reality, Dave stands out. Nearly every one of his posts involves one of the following: beautiful women with enhanced features, talks of making significant amounts of money, expensive sports cars, or trips to exotic locations. It's clear how Vegas Dave makes his money now, but we need to go back a couple of years to figure out how we got here. Dave Wancha has been a member of the Las Vegas industry scene for nearly 2 decades. He claims that his beginnings come from taking out a student loan while attending UNLV in the amount of $10,000, going down the street to a casino, betting it on red, and walking away with $20,000. Vegas Dave's image centers around him only winning, not losing, so it's going to be hard to get him to talk about anything that may ruin his image. Rufus Peabody is a respected opinion, so I have a feeling there's some truth in his post, but I can't verify it 100% to state it as fact.
I'm driving down the strip, and I just picked up $100,000. Picked up $100,000 from the casino.
Almost all handicappers who are claiming huge winnings off huge betting tickets are hiding something. A few months back, Robert Gorodetsky, who positioned himself as someone similar to Vegas Dave with the huge winnings on sports gambling, a flashy lifestyle, hanging out with celebrities and beautiful women, pled guilty to a $9.6 million fraud scheme. This is not meant to indicate that Vegas Dave is doing something similar. This is merely representing the lifestyle that these guys reside within. Everything is for show and to get the general betting public, commonly known as squares, to invest in them and their picks. The casinos do not like winners, and they definitely do not like winners who are walking out of the casino with multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars like Dave does.
I just got paid. I'm going live. I just got paid $100,000 on the money these fucking casinos owed me for a long time.
Given his public persona and celebrity status within the sports gambling community, Dave would be very easy to recognize in the event that the casinos were no longer taking his bets. And casinos will do this. If you are successful enough, the casinos will cut you off and no longer allow you to place bets. The fact that Dave was still able to make hundreds of thousands of dollars in bets following some of his very public wins leads me to believe that he was losing a lot more than he was winning. A couple years back, I made friends with a neighbor in my condo community that sits about half of a mile from the Wynn. This gentleman was a professional handicapper and runner for outside of the state investors, because at the time, gambling was illegal. He knew Vegas Dave back before he was Vegas Dave. And he mentioned that the success of Dave as a handicapper is all new, as he wasn't much of a great gambler back before the social media fame. This is certainly an anecdotal comment, but it definitely helps to have secondhand knowledge of who Vegas Dave was before the $1 million lifestyle. Vegas Dave before the gambling was a nightclub resident, as he spent an inordinate amount of time partying at bottle service tables, taking pictures of himself and bottle service girls, and promoting his brand Rotate Sun. The brand was created because he was all about hooking up with women, taking them out, and then leaving them because he didn't respect them.
In my early 20s, going to college, all I gave a fuck was about getting pussy. I went to college to get pussy. I didn't go there to read books. I didn't care about the history class. I didn't care about the molecules in biology and chemistry class. I cared about the pussy. I even cared if the fucking professor is hot. Because when you're 20, 30, that's all you give a fuck is pussy, 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 pussy.
Dave has certainly grown from this previous version of himself, but he still feels like the kid who never received approval and still wants to get back at those who wronged him.
I told her I think she's the first person I had sober sex with, you know, and she was shocked. But I would work so hard every week, then go to Dre's Sunday, then to Sapphire and take a waitress home and be wasted, have sex with them, feed them breadsticks at Olive Garden, never talk to them again.
Dave got banned from gambling at the casinos. He claims it was from him winning too much, but a little research indicates that the casinos cut him off due to their belief that he was creating fake social security numbers to place his bets. He was in court for a very serious lawsuit, but he was not charged, so I will not claim he was guilty, just laying out a gathering of information.
You don't think there's any chance they'll unban me?
Most likely not. They're too good.
What's that?
Too good.
In my opinion, he would have been cut off years ago had he been winning enough to scare the casinos. The casinos have to report their winnings and losses to the IRS because they're a business, and from what I've gathered from various sources, they send your social security number with the payout if you won above a certain amount of money. If you think about it, if your winnings are attached to a different social security number, then there's no way for the IRS to find out how much you won. Given some of the payouts, that could save you nearly 40% in income taxes. It's pretty financially lucrative to get away with a scheme like that, but Dave wasn't proven guilty, so we have to assume his innocence. If Dave wasn't a great handicapper, then how can he afford the Ferraris, the villa in Cabo, and the $1 million bankroll? He touts picks. There is a famous saying that goes, "He who can, does. He who cannot, teaches." In sports gambling circles, this saying can be rephrased as, "He who can gamble, does so in anonymity. He who cannot, touts picks." Vegas Dave has transitioned into a sports betting consultant. Instead of placing sports bets, he now sells his picks. In order to break even as a sports handicapper, you will need to win 52.4% of your bets. The Vegas sportsbooks have what is called a vigorish, or VIG for short, as the cost of doing business. Most lines you will see in the NFL, for instance, are minus 110. That represents the amount of money you will need to wager to earn $100. The casinos take the $10 difference from the loser as their commission essentially. Because of the VIG, every amateur sports gambler loses in the long run. You may hear of your friend or neighbor visiting Vegas and winning a couple sports bets. That may happen in the short term, but the Vegas sportsbook will always win in the long term. Always. There are some professionals who win, however, and this entices every sports fan to play. And this is ultimately what helps Vegas Dave make so much money. Anyone who is loud, flashy, and claims to only pick winners can make a lot of money touting picks.
This is what I made this week from my phone, $156,000 in 1 week of selling picks. That's why I can afford to give out $2,000 in 60 seconds.
At home, you're probably wondering, why would someone sell their picks if they're winning so much? That's exactly the point. If you have a proven system of winning, you will want to be more anonymous than Steve Bartman was in Chicago in October 2003. The amount of money you can win with gambling sports is truly unprecedented. I've seen a professional claim that a gambler can double his winnings with every percentage point he wins over 52.4% over a full year. So if a gambler can win 55.4% of his picks over a full year, they will triple their money. Sounds easy, right? Wrong. Nearly everyone loses money gambling. It's impossible to pick winners at that rate over a long enough time frame without using some proven system. Billy Walters had an entire operation set up with decades of data, the best computer algorithms, and a knack for playing bully on the casinos, and he reported career winnings around 56 to 57%. And he's widely known as the absolute best gambler in Vegas sportsbook history. How can Vegas Dave get away with claiming winning percentage such as this? He creates the accounting rules. He gets to choose what counts as a win and a loss.
Last year I hit over 70% of my straight bets. We crushed it. This year we're looking at 75 to 80%. That's our target goal. Because I'll be studying more, and I have the more numbers crunched, and I'm more methodical on my straight bet plays. I have a system where I know I can cash over 70% for you guys this year once again.
Vegas Dave does have a system. He bets on baseball as that is his bread and butter. His system is the series chase system. An example would be he bets the home favorite in game 1 of a series. If they win game 1, then you win the series and have a 1-0 record. If they lose game 1, you double your bet on them for game 2. If they win game 2, then you win the series and have a 1-0 record. If they lose game 2, then you double your bet again and bet on the same team for game 3. If they win game 3, then you win the series and still have a 1-0 record. The problem is, what happens when they get swept and lose all 3 games? You doubled your bets twice and eventually lost upwards of 10 units or more depending on how much he recommended betting. Sometimes he recommends betting 30 units by game 3. From thesportsgeek.com, a unit in sports betting is a measurement of the size of someone's bet. Because everyone has different size bankrolls for sports betting, using the term unit is a way for us to show your profit or loss in universal terms. Because basic sports betting strategy tells us that you should be betting somewhere between 1 to 5% of your bankroll on each wager, it is generally accepted that a unit is equal to approximately 1% of your bankroll. What makes touts like Vegas Dave dangerous is that you can run up your unit count loss very quickly. You'll hear Vegas Dave talk about going 6-1 in a weekend spree. What he doesn't mention is that one loss, represented as losing the series, could be enough to wipe out your entire bankroll. Dave's obscene winning percentage is calculated as basically how many series he has won or how many huge favorites have won. Or he just doesn't count some losses against his record. Who's counting, right? Think about Floyd Mayweather's career. You can bet on the money line for Floyd to win his boxing match, and so far he's won every single time. But there are times when you may have laid $30,000 to win $100, which is terrible odds, and all it takes is one mistake from Floyd eating a punch he didn't see coming, and your entire bankroll is cleaned out, all to win $100. That is the danger of the chase system. At some point, you could be wagering upwards of $10,000 to only win $100. That is a 1% return on an event with a statistical probability of winning around 50%. This would make a statistician's head hurt. People may win money by paying for Vegas Dave's picks, but they won't long term. Vegas Dave does not rely on a computer algorithm written by a team of PhD computer scientists and math experts. His system relies on his ability to sell and double down when you lose. It works when you have an unlimited bankroll, but it will wipe you out over a long enough time frame. Vegas Dave is really entertaining, but you're playing a dangerous game if you're investing in his sports picks, as he is not a professional gambler. He is a professional entertainer who happens to give unprofessional advice on which team to pick. But I can at least enjoy the beautiful women that accompany him on his trips to Cabo.